So this is review unit 9. Okay, it is a little different than the notes we took, so you're going to have to apply your thought process here. It says the graph below shows the number of students who chose each class for their fine arts credit in high school. Use the graph to answer questions 1 through 3. What percentage of students chose to make theater as their fine arts credit? In our notes section, or when we were doing the notes, mainly we already had the percentage, okay? This is asking for the percentage you're going to have to find. We had to find the number on our notes stuff. So we're going to have to switch it over. We got to still think, you can't convert that, but we got to think part to whole, percent over 100, okay? Because this is a circle, so part and whole go together. Now, what percentage chose theater? Okay, so theater is 120 students out of 800 total students, because you would add all 560, 120, 40, and 80, and together you would get 800 students total. So 120 out of 800 equals X out of 100. Okay, so once we have that in our deal, it's going to catch up in just a second. Okay, we would cross multiply and divide. So I would say 800x equals 120 times 100. Okay, which is 12,000. And then we would divide both sides by 800. And I'm going to mark out those zeros because it makes it a little bit more simple. And I'm going to say 120 divided by 8. And I got 15. So that goes in this spot right here. It goes in the X spot, which is the percent. Okay, so we would have 15%, which is letter choice B. Sorry, not number, letter choice B. Number 2, how many more? What is how many more? We talked about that yesterday. That means subtract. Are in all other classes combined than art. So all others minus art. Okay, so 800 the other classes combined. So we got to add up everything except art. So 720, because you would take out the 80 that are in art, minus 80. Okay, and then you would get what? 40. Okay, so 640, which is answer choice H. Which statement is not supported? So that's the key word right there, not supported by the graph. 3 times as many students take theater than choir. Well, theater has 120 and choir has 40. And if you do 40 times 3, you get 120. So that is true, right? So that can't be our answer because we're looking for the not true one. B, the same number of students take theater as do choir and art combined. So theater is 120, choir and art together is 40 plus 80, which is 120. So that is also true. 75% of the students will take band. Okay, well, how would we figure that out? Could we find the percentage if we set it up? As we say, 560 over 800 equals X over 100. Okay, so 800X equals 56,000 divided by 800 divided by 800. And you're going to get 70%. What does it say? It says 75. So I think that's a false one. Let's look at D. Twice as many students will take art as choir. Art is 80, choir is 40. 40 times 2 is 80, so that's true also. So you should have gotten C as your answer choice. Okay, number 4. We're going to use this graph right here, this bar graph for 4 through 6. About how many more students does Miss Williams have than Miss Green? Mr. Williams minus Mr. Green. So Williams minus Green. So Williams is 120. Green is 60. So about 60 more. You good with that? About what percentage of students have Mr. Jones or Miss Taylor? So what would we do there? We would add. Mr. Jones is 80, or I say 90. Would y'all say about 90? Okay, 90. And then Mrs. Taylor is about, it looks like a little bit more, but it's about 92, right? So 90 plus 90 is 180. Out of how many total? I would add 60, which is 240, and about out of 360. Now, okay, think about this for just a second. Could I mark this out right here? What's half of 36? 18. What's half of 100?
50.
If I don't see that, what can I do? Cross multiply and divide. I mean, does that make sense? So if you don't see that, cross multiply and divide, because it's always going to work out. So I'm going to say answer choice C. Okay, number 6. If Mr. Jones teaches 3 math classes per day, what is his closest to the average class size? Okay, Mr. Jones teaches about 90 kids, right? If he teaches 3 classes a day and he teaches 90 kids, how do we know how many classes per day he teaches? 90 by 3 and get... Y'all good with that? Okay.